Phillips and headed home. 10 to 5. It's time to go to the movies. And yes, he's back. BBC Coventry and Warwickshire movie reviewer extraordinaire. I say that, he's actually paid to do movies for the Radio Times and the Metro newspaper, and we just snag him on a Thursday. Hello, James Luxford.
Hiya.
Happy National Sunglasses Day.
Thank you very much.
Those are snazzy, mate. Those are.
Thank you. I would love to say it was intentional,
right?
But I only read it on Twitter as I was coming out of Coventry Station, and I thought, well, how appropriate.
And you sort of put up a little pic of yourself there. And can I try and describe these? Imagine Sophia Loren, but then absolute bright green.
Absolutely bright green.
Yeah.
They're very good for hay fever, very good for keeping the pollen out. That's my excuse anyway.
Good. All right, and we're sticking to it. Really glad you picked this first movie to review, because I'll be really interested to hear what you think of this.
Yep, it's Yesterday, a comedy from Danny Boyle about a man who wakes up in a world where only he remembers the Beatles.
Do you genuinely not know who the Beatles are?
Generally.
Then I'm in a really, really, really complicated situation.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me.
Sorry, I'm just listening to Jack's new song.
What's this one called?
Leave it be.
Let it be.
Well, rock on, Jack.
So basically, no one's heard of the Beatles, and he's thinking,
well, yeah,
I'm going to knock all these Beatles songs out.
And he becomes the biggest star in the world. And I thought it was really fun. The star in it is just wonderful. Himesh Patel, who you may remember from, I was just told while waiting to come in, he was in EastEnders for a number of years. And Lily James, who you remember from Mamma Mia and Cinderella and things like that. Really lovely stars. It's a really quite happy film, quite a cheerful film, quite an uplifting film. What I did find is that I don't think it really stretched the concept of their, being in a world with no Beatles beyond sort of the odd joke, because it's really a film about what happens when you get very, very famous. At one point, the beginning of the film is very much dedicated to that. Oh, no one's heard of Let It Be, or things like that. And there's a point where he's recording, I think it's in the trailer, he's recording Hey Jude, and someone says, what if it's Hey Dude?
Yeah.
And things like that. So you have those funny moments.
Hey Dude's better, isn't it? It's Hey Jude. Right, but okay, they wouldn't know, would they?
But
and Ed Sheeran's in this. He's got a cameo role.
Yeah, he's a cameo as himself and sends himself up a little bit. And I don't know if there's a burgeoning acting career there, but it's a lovely little look at how good the Beatles are, if you need reminding.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. All right, so from something to have a bit of a giggle about to something to potentially really immerse yourself in here. Apollo 11.
Yes, a documentary about the moon landing with never-before seen footage. We follow the Apollo 11 from the launch to touchdown.
The whole Apollo program was designed to get two Americans to the lunar surface and back again to Earth safely. The enormity of this event is something that only history will be able to judge.
And it's important to stress this is not like a Tom Hanks Hollywood,
No,
movie, is it?
It's what it is, and it's not a traditional documentary. We cut back to people talking about it or narration. It is just the footage of the takeoff, and the audio from the control center, and you're following it from their takeoff to getting to the moon, to landing on the moon, to getting back.
And why is that a good thing to put in a movie?
I think it's fascinating.
It's just the footage
just
of mission control, and I'm
really underselling it. Yeah. It is living the reactions of the people watching the takeoff. It is watching the pensive expression of Buzz Aldrin as he's getting fitted for the spacesuit. It's watching them walk in, and it's all in HD. It's really hard not to sort of convince yourself this is shot in a movie studio, but it's all real, and it's stuff we're all used to seeing. 4 or 5 images from the moon landing that we all grew up with.
Yes.
It's a reminder that, not only did this really happen, this was just regular people pulling off an impossible task that so many things could have gone wrong. Yeah. There's this point where they are landing and they have a meter on the screen with how much fuel's left, how many seconds of fuel's left, and how many feet they are from the surface. And at one point, there are more feet than there are seconds of fuel.
Right.
And find myself sort of with your hands on my head going, oh, I know this is going to work out.
Yeah.
But it really underlines how incredible it was. The HD footage is gorgeous. I think if you're at all interested in this event, it is definitely worth seeing.
Okay, good stuff. Which brings us to your third recommendation for the week. Tell me, in a week where England are doing really well in the Football World Cup, this is called Support the Girls.
It is, yes. It's a dark comedy about the manager at a sports bar who is out having maybe the worst day of her life on the job.
I do love that highway sound. Close my eyes and it's like I'm at the beach.
There's a lot more that we couldn't put in.
Yeah.
From the movie, because there's lots of references to body parts.
Yeah, I don't. It's set in a sports bar where the waitresses are somewhat scantily clad.
Okay.
Shall we put it that way?
Hooters, if you know the
Indeed,
brand.
yes.
Hooters, that's kind of like that. And why is this good?
Because it's one of President Barack Obama's favourite films of last year when it was released in the US. Because it seems like, I think the description is very much sort of set up for a bawdy kind of adult comedy. It's not. It just looks at working class America, someone in a low-paid, long hours job, just struggling to keep her head above water as things keep going wrong, and as the people she gives advice to keep ignoring it, and the pressure from her boss. And I think it's a really important film in some ways, because it's a snapshot of just ordinary people. Yes, the setting is sort of a setup from numerous jokes and things like that, but it really is about just making ends meet and how much it takes in the modern day to do that. And I think Regina Hall, who plays the manager, is just absolutely superb.
Lots of people with everyday struggles will recognise that, I'm sure. James, appreciate that. Thanks very much indeed. James Luxford from the Metro newspaper Radio Times with his movie picks for this week.